Perfect. Amazing. So welcome everyone to our 3 ways to save 100K and never have to worry about money again. I'm so excited to be here sharing this with Kim tonight. Day 1 of our 3-day challenge. You're going to learn so much over the next 3 days. We encourage you to play full out. Absolutely full out, come in willing to learn, open to learning something new, because I know this stuff works. When I share my testimony tonight, it works. So what you can expect over the next 3 days, you'll get to know us. We'll introduce ourselves tonight. And like I said, I'll share my testimony as well tonight. The vision and the mission of Kim's coaching and the Wealthy as Fuck program. You'll get clear on your current blocks, what's stopping you, what's holding you back, or what's sabotaging you reaching your money goals. Learning the 3 principles of budgeting and wealth. You'll learn all about the Wealthy as Fuck money program that Kim runs and that I get the pleasure of coaching inside of. And there'll be a special little perks and bonuses that we'll share along the 3 days as well. You'll get daily homework, so you should all have got the download for your workbook. So follow along in your workbook. If you've printed it out, amazing. If you're following along on the computer, awesome, perfect. I can see Laurie holding it up. And there'll be little tasks to complete along the way. And then, like Kim shared before, there'll be a Q&A at the end of each session. Pop your questions in, pop your hand up if you know how to do that as well. So yeah, it's going to be a jam-packed 3 days. Just, I say dive in head first, because yeah, this can be life-changing if you implement these 3 days and what you're going to learn. So for those that don't know me, my name is Whitney. I'm a money coach inside the Wealthy as Fuck program. I'm 13 years in the Army. So I've done 12 years full-time in the Army as a parachute rigger. And I stepped back from full-time. I'm now an Army reservist. So I just work 3 days a week. As a parachute rigger by trade. So yes, packing the parachutes for other people, teaching people. I'm an instructor as well, so teaching people how to jump out of planes, and currently studying my master trainer course. So I love all things body, fitness, health, everything along those lines. So currently studying my Cert 3 and 4 in fitness. I have 6 years experience working online. So first started in the network marketing business over 6 years ago. And then obviously that has now migrated and turned into me coaching online inside the amazing WAF program. I am a wife. My hubby's in the Army as well. I'm a mum of two little toddlers. So it's pretty hectic and chaotic at the best of times. And a pretty individual fact about me, fun fact, is I used to jump out of planes for a living. So I've done hundreds of jumps. Very grateful that I got paid to do that. That was a part of my job. I'd haven't in a few years now since having babies. Doesn't really interest me, that risk anymore, but I did love it at the time. And I've done the Wealthy as Fuck program, and I implemented everything that Kim taught, and we're successfully saving 100K in 3 years. So at the moment, we're about 10 months into when we started, and we've saved over $27,000 already just from doing what Kim teaches inside the program. And that, like I said, it's been life-changing for us. And I'm so passionate now about supporting fellow everyday women that think, is there a better way? Will I ever get ahead? Sharing this beautiful program and the coaching now, because there is a better way, and you don't have to feel those shitty feelings about money. You just don't have to if you choose not to. Thanks, Kim.
Yay! Love it. Now it's my turn. I have to say, me and Whitney are so close, and I had no idea that she used to jump out of planes. I think you missed out that part. I really would love to jump out of a plane, but I think I need to be heavily sedated under drink a whole bowl of bubbles before I jump out or something, because it's the only way you're getting me off the plane. So me, for those of you who don't know me, I'm a money coach, primarily for women, but fun fact, in the last couple of months, I've had some men reach out too, which is really cool. I have a background in holistic health, business and mindset coaching. I have 2 university degrees, 2 bachelors in sports science and exercise physiology, actually. So I've always been really good at bossing people around, and it used to be for health, and now it's money. And I have 10 years experience as a business owner and entrepreneur. I'm a wife. I'm a mum. Most of you know this, 2 gorgeous little Isla. I'm the ultimate wine lover. See, I'm already referencing the wine with the jumping out of the plane thing. I call myself a recovered financial stress head. And I'm now obsessed with helping you change your finances and your life quickly and permanently. And I will give a 2-second/2-minute version of my story, because some of you here, I'd actually love to know in the chat. Just let me know if you haven't heard my story before. I know a lot of you have, and I know I've shared it a lot. So I find that I forget that some of you guys haven't heard my story yet. But pretty much my whole life has been revolved around money. I'm 32 now. The first 26 years of my life, give or take, I can't really remember from being a little baby, but it's all been revolved around money, but negatively. There was never any. And I'm like, what? It didn't make sense. My whole life revolved around it. Why was there none? But I'm a child of a divorce. My parents divorced when I was 8 years old. It was incredibly traumatic. I really struggled with self-worthiness and feeling good enough. I would think that things that my mum and dad did made me feel like I was never like truly worthy of love, or that they loved me. And I was always chasing money. I grew up with so many negative money stories. Rich people are greedy. You got to work really, really hard for money, but you also want to be happy, or money doesn't buy happiness, and all of those things. So I've been hustling since the moment I could make pocket money. I've been working legally since the legal age of working. I went and got 2 degrees, as I just said before, because I thought if I get 2, I should be able to earn more money. Couldn't even get a job. But I fell into the network marketing and online space, and which was the most incredible thing, because I learned how to not do business, and I learned how to do business, being your own boss, and the journey of personal development and working on my money, because my relationship with money was my biggest the biggest block, the biggest challenge. And when I finally decided I was worthy enough to spend money on myself, to get help from a coach or a program or a course, I did all the things, right? When I finally made that effort switch when I was 26 years old, everything changed. And then when I ended up business coaching clients around business from my experience, I had it in my network marketing days. In a space of like 6-7 years, I turned over about $6 million in sales for the company, which is huge. So I was top of the company. People wanted to learn from me, so I was teaching that. But then all the ladies who wanted the business coaching was like, Kim, tell me about money. What are you doing with money? And I just was so passionate about the money side of things. So I put my life's work and my life's learning into this space, into the Wealthy as Fuck brand, that you now get a taster of. So there's a little bit, I think that's the fastest I've ever told my story. The most condensed I've ever told my story. I just want to see the chat actually, who has and who hasn't. Those of you who haven't, keep following along. You'll hear it in more depth. And I have a podcast coming out soon, guys. Finally, my new podcast will be launched, and you'll get all the juicy gossip about my life and my money struggles. All right, what is next? The vision and the mission. You need to interrupt me, Whitney, because I can't remember which slides you're taking over. So you just butt in, but I'm pretty sure I'm doing this one, right? Yes, because it took me till having my daughter to realize, to get ultimate clarity on my vision and my mission. It's always been lingering around this, because when I worked in network marketing, it was all about time, flexibility, financial freedom, self-empowerment, and then the coaching as well. But yeah, those of you who aren't mums, are totally fine. Those of you who are mums, you just know once you give birth and create your own legacy, it's just really not about you anymore, and things become more crystal clear with what it is you want to do potentially. So the vision is I see a future of thousands of women. I wanted to update this I actually see a vision. My vision is a future of hundreds of thousands of women. The vision's growing. To break that generational hand-me-down scarcity mindset, so their children and the generations to come will never have to worry about money. And how I do this, how we do this inside the Wealthy as Fuck brand, is We help women pay off debt fast, stop spending more than they're earning, and start creating their path to financial freedom so they stop feeling like they are not enough. And it's such powerful work, because you will know that money is just the surface layer when it comes to this work. You're going to learn about it over the next 3 days, where the money in the bank just reflects your sense of feeling good enough. So it's not just the money we want to work on, guys. It's you stepping into your power, realizing that you are good enough, and breaking down all the layers and layers of crap we've developed over the years that have hidden away our feelings of self-worthiness. So I'm so excited you're here to experience this, guys. All right, this part as well, the 3 main pillars, and this is, wrap your head around this, because understanding this framework of the journey of the wealthy as fuck journey of you learning to become your wealthiest fuck self. How's the grammar on that? It requires this framework. So you do have it in your workbook. I did pop in the chat. If you didn't get the workbook because you registered later than when it was released, don't stress. Everything is in here in the slides, and you can just put it in on a journal, or in the chat, whatever. Really, it's like, do not freak out. Some people love workbooks. Some people, if you're like me, I am too lazy to print. So I will literally just write stuff down on a piece of paper. So the 3 main pillars are mindset, manifestation, and management. And the mindset is your past, the manifestation is your present, management is your future. This is how we work. And what I want you to do is, I'd love for you to do this, you can do it in your workbook, but share it in the chat. And we're just going to do a little rating of where you feel like you're currently at. Just so you understand, mindset is like your beliefs around money, any money trauma you've had. Do you feel like it's been lingering, it's deep seated? This is like child of divorce, as in, you know, the stress around, I knew more about child support than any other parent in my primary school at the time. It was fucked. There could be more hectic trauma around, like, you know, some weeks you wouldn't have food going to school as a child because your parents couldn't afford it, or you would constantly jumping house to house, or there was risk, you know, like the really heavy stuff that impacts us as a kid. It can be in an adult life, but a lot of our stuff can happen, or usually the initial traumas happen when we're children. The trauma can be as little as, like, you were never allowed lunch bought at school because your parents couldn't afford it, but you couldn't comprehend that. You just thought you weren't good enough because your best friend always got 50 cents every day to buy something from the canteen, right? That's traumatic for you too. So your mindset's that, your consciousness levels, are you in survival mode, or are you in a thriving abundance mindset consciousness? Your manifestation is your behaviors, the rituals, embodiments, and vibration. Like, do you behave as your wealthy as fuck self, or do you, you know, get the bill and stress out, even though you know you pay your bills every month, every couple of months? When something triggers you, are you the person that handles their emotions, or do you let them get the better of you? And then the management is like, I'm going to say this word, and in a few slides time, you're going to see why I don't say this word. But management is like, are you budgeting? How are you budgeting, managing your money, the clarity around the goals? So understanding these areas, the masculine and feminine balance in these, out of 10, 0 out of 10 is, Kim, God save me, I am a hopeless wreck in this area. 10 out of 10 being, I'm so fucking satisfied, I've got this shit down pat. I would say if you're a 10 out of 10 in all 3, I'd question why you're doing this challenge, because technically you wouldn't need it. So with that, pop it in the chat. Let's get really clear. It's about, like, there's no judgment, guys. The only judgment you feel is judgment you put on yourself. No one else is judging you. The clearer you are, the more honest you are with seeing where you're at. It's easier to determine where the gap is, and how easy it will be to solve the problem there. All right, didn't breathe then and forgot to bring water in. This is going to be fun. All right, we got lots of 5s, we got some 2s, some 4s, some 3s. Thank you. Whitney's answering questions in the chat. 3 or 4 out of 10. Yep, 2, 2, 4. All right. But yeah, write these down, because at the end of the challenge, we're going to do a little bit of a recap on this. But well done. Amber's like, I reckon too. Face palm. Love it. Guys, I love I love seeing this. I know it's not like sexy for you to be like a 2 out of 10, but to me, the bigger the gap, the bigger the transformation, the more I know I can help you. So I love seeing this because I know what it feels like to be a 10 out of 10 until you move the goalposts. And then, you know, so I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I've been there where it's been lower and I've come out, same as Whitney, we've come out on the other side. So this is great. All right. Whitney I was a 1 to 2 in all areas when I first did this. Yeah. Awesome, guys. Well done for doing that. All right. So I'm handing it over to Whitney now.
Yay. Yes, I just want to share on that last one. I think when I first did this, it was a 1 to 2. Like I was in a pretty bad place, pretty shitty place mentally when it came to money. And now I can so easily say like I'm a 9 to 10, like in all 3 areas because of this work. So if you join live on the second day, so same time tomorrow night we'll be kicking off, we'll give you the best ways to set up your bank accounts. Black and white, so simple and easy to follow for you to be able to go and implement that step straight away. So those that have your workbooks, you can flip to page 6. If not, if you're just journaling or typing along, you can type out the question here so you know what you're answering. What do you feel is missing when it comes to your money and your finances? What is missing? If you'd love to pop it in the chat, please, by all means, pop it in the chat, because I'm sure you're not the only one that feels like they're missing that.
This is where I need the elevator music, or like some nice, maybe I could hum.
Is it the management? Is it the budgeting or the knowing what to do with your money or how to handle your money? Is it you're missing a positive mindset when it comes to money? Is it never having enough and living paycheck to paycheck? Because that is something that I 100% could relate to, living that paycheck to paycheck cycle. I'm just going to bring up the chat. Always feeling like there's never enough. Yep, Kate completely could relate to this. Always in survival mode and living pay to pay. Yep, thank you so much, ladies, for sharing. Working with principles for women. I've been using a man's blueprint, which hasn't been working. Oh, Kayla, you are in the right place. So on page 7 now, onto our next question in the workbook. What do you desire with your money? How much do you want saved? Are you clear? How clear are you? Do you have clarity on how much money do you actually want? What is it for? Again, pop it in the chat if you'd love to share. So just from the last responses, management and not enough, safety and flexibility, not enough and not in order. So Lauren, I desire complete freedom. So what does freedom look like for you? What's that dollar amount? What is that freedom? Safety net, $1 million for a house. Save for holidays and travel, not just day-to-day living. 250,000 to invest in EFT for the safety net. So we all have those different reasons. We all have the why we want money, the amount we want, wedding and travel, not enough coming in. And I think we would love 100K a year, but can't do that. If the money isn't even coming through, 1 to 2 mil to travel and buy a house. I'd like 20,000 in the bank to not rely on anyone else, like my abusive ex-husband, to pay child support for our rent. Again, so thanks for sharing that, Kayla, and being so vulnerable. So many different reasons. We all have different desires. Okay, again, on page 7 of our workbook, what do you feel like is holding you back from achieving this? So what's stopping you? What's that one speed bump hurdle in the way from achieving that desire, achieving those goals? And sometimes this can be multiple things. I know for myself, it was multiple things. Capped income at the moment. mindset, the way I use what we have, the mindset, self-worth, fear of success, debts and mindset, lack of sufficient income, not spending time on it, and how I use money. So again, lots of different obstacles for different people, but I'm sure other people's obstacles or what's in the way and blocking us, we can relate to each other's as well. Time to actually work and get some income, 3 debt payments, so not much left to save, mismanagement, I earn quite a lot but don't manage it correctly. I can definitely relate there. In early stages of building my own online biz, not managing it at best I could, maximizing interest, etc. So many different things that are holding us all individually back. Not consistently managing money coming in, not having enough structure in place. So we want to put things in place to better support that. Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. It can be tough sharing, especially when it comes to money, but I say nothing's off limits. Like, the more comfortable you get with money and talking about money and your relationship with money, it's freaking empowering. It's so damn empowering. And I'll hand back over to Kim.
Oh, I love this. I'm just sitting here like reading the chat and I'm like, oh my gosh, can relate, been there. So loving the big dreams, guys. We are here. We were given our desires for a reason, right? We're meant to have them. We've just got some things in the way that we need to clear up. So well done for being just super open and sharing, guys. Okay, so we're going to get down into it now. Are you ready? Are you ready for it? All right, I need to make sure I'm just making sure I'm pinned at the top of the video. It's showing Whitney. That's all right. No, it's annoying me. Can you guys see me in the top? If it's just, okay, I can see Whitney, but unless you want to unpin yourself, it's just, I'm so OCD.
You're good. You've got the green around you and you got thumbs up.
Oh,
everyone can see you.
Thanks, guys. I can't see. I'm so used to like talking to myself. I can't see myself talk, but this is good. So this is my saying. I'm very proud of it. Feel free to write it down as a little quote, because everything we're going to talk about tonight and everything when it comes to money and wealth, it's about this. So clarity builds wealth and delusion keeps you broke. And I will say, disclaimer, I am not a financial advisor. Whitney is not a financial advisor. I should have said that at the start. We're not financial advisors. We're just sharing with you what we've learned, what works. That we've learned a lot of different shit, implemented a lot of different shit, and this stuff works. So just know that. So yeah, clarity builds wealth, delusion keeps you broke. And there's so much I can talk about this. This is one of the philosophies that the whole Wealthy as Fuck brand is based around. The more clear you are on not just your numbers, not just like the logisticals, but on the energetics, the mindset, your behaviors, which is, your manifestations, all of that, the more clear you are on that, is the quicker, the faster you're going to build your wealth. The more deluded you are, keeps you broke. I don't want to get ahead of myself, because I know I like to do this where I'll talk to you now and I'll say something and then it's like on the next slide. I'm like, oh, of course. So I'm just going to leave you with that, but understanding that if you can wrap your head around this saying, you can always bring yourself back to this. If you're feeling broke, okay, where am I delusional right now? Where am I not clear? What's the problem? What's getting in the way? What is it that I need to go do? Do I need to go get the help for it? Can I do it myself? It's a very powerful quote there. All right, I think here we go. Okay, I said I wasn't going to have the chat up. If you ask a question and I feel like it's going to take me off course, I'm not going to answer it. But just in case you share some stuff through, or you can say like you can relate, or let me know as we go if your mind's blowing, like, oh my gosh, I didn't even think of this. So day one, first thing you are learning. There's like actually more than three things we're teaching you in this next 3 days, but it's based around 3 core things. But you need to follow a system that follows universal laws, and you need to stop budgeting. Some of you have heard me say this before. Who right now, you can put in the chat, I've got it up. Who follows a budget, or who tries and budget? Who uses the term budget in their vocabulary? Me. never managed to budget, but you still, I'm reading Catherine's, just couldn't do it as I always felt bad that I didn't. Yeah, Sandra's, yeah. Sarah, always budgeting. Danielle, me, yes. The first thing you are going to do, if you do nothing else, which I know you won't because there's lots you're going to take away from this, but if you do nothing else and just remove the term budget from your vocabulary, from your life, it's going to make a world of difference. So the reason you need to follow a system that follows universal law is because there needs to be circulation, right? It needs to have magnetism. It needs to have expansion. This is where I need to click because more comes up. Hang on. There we go. Because I did this last time. I got ahead of myself and then clicked on the next slide and I already said it. So you need to treat money as energy, not as something you physically want to hoard. For those of you who are hoarders like me, I have my days. I'm a recovering financial hoarder as well, which is got to save everything, can't spend and think money's this physical thing you got to hold away and hide away, but then you never feel like you have any of it anyway, or somehow you still spend it, right? So you need to treat money as energy. Money is just energy. Everything in this world universe is made up of energy. So if you treat money as energy, you can align it with universal law. And I'm going to go deeper into this soon, but just as a way to, like, a little bit of an analogy for you to wrap your brain around this. So there's scarcity, which is treating money as a physical thing, like a physical, tangible thing, versus abundance, where you're treating money as energy. So I'd love to know in the chat if you've ever thought this, right? Do you hoard your breath thinking that the oxygen may run out? Do you ever do that? Or do you just trust, without even thinking about it, that you will continue to be able to breathe? Any breath hoarders over here? Georgia, oxygen definitely will run out. Okay, watch out, everyone. Georgina's going to try and steal all your oxygen. Yes. So breath, right? And another one I heard is like, I heard this about a year ago and I was just like, oh my gosh, it makes so much sense. When a baby is born a baby is born, I don't know if the stats have changed since I last heard this, but isn't it a new baby's born every 1 minute on average in the world? Also, guys, my grammar sucks, so bear with me. So if every minute a new baby's born, that's a new being that is breathing. Do we worry right now that we're going to run out of oxygen because new humans are being born? Or are we just like, yeah, cool, baby's born, that's beautiful, like we know we're still going to keep breathing? Melinda's like, I have been holding my breath for sure. But yes, right? So if you can really understand that, okay, if money is just energy is just like, money's just like breath, like we trust that there's a circulation to it, right? We trust that there's, now I've got the chat over I know you can't see what I'm doing, but you guys can't see the chat on the screen, can you? I can see, yeah. I'm like moving it around so I can see my words. Where was I going with that? With our breath, we trust the circulation. Energy needs to circulate. Energy, when it's circulating, it's more magnetic, it's more attractive, it's allowed to move and grow and expand. And we want that to expand, right? We want to be more attractive to money. We want to magnetize it in. We want to be more expansive. I went to keep going, but that's on the next slide. So I'm not going to get ahead of myself. So there you go. I'm going to pause it there because next up we have Whitney's just going to share a little bit more about her journey before I get into the nitty-gritties of what I just shared. Stop share. I'm going to bring...
Oh, big screen.
Yeah, hang on. Now mine's taking forever to load. I just had a moment. I was like, oh, make sure I'm plugged in. And we have enough battery. Remove all pins and spotlight, Whitney. Woohoo!
Amazing. So my testimony, my journey that I've been on. So before meeting Kim, before starting the program, we were living that paycheck to paycheck cycle. Money just brought stress, frustration, resentment. And I say resentment, and it was resentment towards my hubby because I was the one carrying that weight on my shoulders. I was the one that paid the bills, and he was just like, you do it. So I carried that weight around. And it was shitty. Like, I just thought that's just the way it is, because I came from a family that, lived that paycheck to paycheck cycle growing up, and we never got the nice things, or we never got the family holidays or anything like that. And, just told myself this is just the way it is. And I had that enough was enough moment. We didn't have debt. We'd followed the Barefoot Investor years prior when it first came out. That got us out of a lot of debt. But again, on good money. But what saving looked like for us was the day before payday. If there was any money left in the bank account, I would transfer that into the savings account. I say savings with air quotes because that account never went anywhere. We were not saving, because most of the time in the next pay cycle, we were dipping into that because we needed that money. And we had that dream of wanting to own our own home. And settling down, my hubby getting out of the Defence Force as well, and just settling down and raising the kids in a town where we want to, and not because that's where Defence have told us we have to move to. And that was deep down, that was a dream we had, but we believed that was never going to happen. And that broke my heart for our children, our young kids. And coming across, meeting Kim and joining the Wealthiest Fuck program, when I joined, actually, and I remember sharing this with Kim, I was like, I need this. I want to do this course. I need this help. I'm desperate. But we were facing a $10,000 vet bill that week. And again, not knowing where that $10,000 was coming from, thinking I'm going to have to go to the bank and get a loan because she'd hurt herself. And I remember saying to Kim, like, I can't afford it right now, but I know this is exactly why I need to do this course, and I need your help. And thankfully I signed up to the course and didn't have a $10,000 vet bill. So I think the universe had my back definitely there. And where we are today, we implemented the signature blueprint system that Kim teaches. January this year, our savings account, we had $361 in it, how we started this year. And currently, like I said before, last week, we just hit over 27,000 just in our house deposit savings. We have not touched that once since starting that account. And we have other savings and other money goals as well alongside our house deposit one, but that is our main priority. And my mindset has completely changed. Like, money stressed me the fuck out. I love money. I love payday. I love the day before payday when I run our money through the blueprint. I've never felt so empowered when it came to money. And I'll never forget sending Kim a message on that very first day that I paid myself first, which you will learn more about and it will make sense to you. I paid myself first. I saved first before everything else. And I remember saying to Kim, like, man, that felt good. Like, how such a simple task could that completely change the way I felt about money? And now we are well and truly on our way. Our goal is in 3 years. We're nearly 12 months down already and ahead of our goal. Ahead of hitting that 100 grand. That's our goal, to save for our house deposit in our dream coastal town where we want to raise our kids. And yeah, I'm just want to show other women now that when you have that enough is enough moment, or that moment of desperation, because I was desperate when I made that decision to join the program and work with Kim. So I will always shout Kim's name from the rooftops in this program, from the rooftops, because I know how much it's changed our life. And I saw someone in the comments earlier said one of their obstacles was they're on a set income. And that's what I said. Like, what I believed, we were on a set income. And the amount of money that we have attracted in, when I say we, my hubby and I, we've had pay increases, which don't really come along often in the Defence Force. We've attracted in probably over $10,000 worth of money, from winnings to refunds to credits. Like, it's just insane. So I definitely don't believe now we're on a fixed income because of the amount of money that we attract in and with ease. And something that we never thought, again, whilst in saving all this money, was getting a new car. We didn't think that would be possible for us anytime soon. And we got a new car a couple of months ago. And that was a damn good feeling, knowing I didn't have to sit down and crunch numbers. I knew that it would fit into our blueprint. And I didn't have to stress about where those repayments, because we did finance part of the car. I didn't have to stress where the finance was coming from because I knew it would fit in. So yeah, I'm so, so grateful for Kim and this program. And just as cliche, and I think I say this all the time, as cliche as it has changed our life. 100% changed our life for the better. Thanks, Kim.
Oh, I love that song. I always love hearing your story. Every time you hear it, every time you share it, it just gets more profound and just more things have happened. So I love it. Can anyone relate to Whitney? Inspired by it? Let me just find find me. Continue. Okay, well, there I am. Hello. Love it, babe. Yeah, Georgina's like 100% relate. Yeah. And I know I said no, I'll answer questions at the end, but I just saw Laurie's question. And if we need to go further into it, Laurie, at the end, 100% stay on for Q&A. But Laurie's saying there's always good stories from people who have partners, but what if you're single and have no one to help you bring in income? Okay, at least 50% of the women inside Wealthy as Fuck, and there's 75 people now, not in relationships. Right? Half of them don't. And Whitney can vouch for this too. Yes, they have. She had the two incomes, hubby and hers. One, Whitney was on part-time income anyway. So really, if you put the two together, it would just be one pretty decent single person's income, right? You have to do the work. Like, her hubby wasn't on board straight away. So Whitney had to treat this like, I'm doing this for myself. And eventually, those of you who have husbands, I say husbands because I have a hubby, I'm just used to saying hubby, but partner, whatever. The second person that you guys, I don't know, partner, the best name for it. And you feel like they're not going to be supportive of stuff like this. Like, you have to do the work on yourself first. It starts with you, whether you're single or not single. It starts with you. Trust me. My husband, bless him, the amount of times I've tried to control him because I'm a control freak. Doesn't work. I had to go do it all myself, and it ripple effect because I did the work and I elevated, and my energy, I became expansive. I started to circulate my energy and the money, and I became magnetic. It ripple effect onto my partner, and we did these things together. So there's that side of it too. But yes, anyone who feels like it's only single income, it does, like, we ain't relying on no partner to save us. We can do this ourselves. All right.
Can I share there when you mentioned about like sometimes, you feel like you have to ask your partner's permission too. I didn't tell my hubby how much I was paying to join the program because, like, again, I said I was desperate. I was desperate for me and desperate for us as a family and our future. And it wasn't until I did all the work, got to implementing a blueprint that I'm like, right, sit down. This is what I'm doing. This is why I'm doing it. And he was like, what? You're spending money to learn about money? I was like, yes, but look where it's gotten us. Like, look, you need to spend money to make money. But yeah, I would pay 100 times what I paid for this program because of where it's gotten us and what it has taught me. Like, it's nothing with what I paid for this.
Yeah, I was going to say, was it worth it?
Oh,
what you paid. And
100%.
If you look at it now, guys, when you're going to find out the price and all the investment, you're going to think we're crazy of how actually, I don't like to say the word cheap because we're not cheap, but it's fucking cheap, man. It's like, I don't want to say the word affordable. I prefer, like, it's cheap compared to so much out there. So yes, Tegan saying, invest in yourself is the best thing you can ever do for yourself if you want to change your situation. Yes, and I'm going to talk about this tomorrow in tomorrow's topic around that. So tomorrow's going to be so good. I think it's tomorrow. If it's not tomorrow, it's the third day. I know I talk about it, but thanks, babe, with that. And I do want to share, I'm going to unpin one thing. I read this. I'm like, okay, I know for a second, Courtney, you were just in my mind. I'm like, was it something you shared on social media? But no, there's this other girl who I follow and you guys like look really similar, but she shared it. I was talking to Courtney. I was like, what's it you? how's this, right? If we wanted to learn how to play tennis and get really fucking good at it and get good quickly, would we just go practice by ourselves, or would we go, should probably go do lessons, should probably go get a coach? Yeah. This is so much when it comes to money and business and all the things where we try and do everything ourselves. It's usually around mindset, money, and business. It can be in other and relationships. It's all that more energetic-y kind of work. But if you want to get good at something and you want to get good at it quickly, you go get a coach. It's the same thing. So I'm actually going to make a social media post about that as well. But I heard it and I was like, well, if I wanted to go learn how to play tennis, I'd get a coach. If I want to go do singing lessons, because I think I can sing, but my husband doesn't think I can sing. Probably not the best, but I was like, I'll go get singing lessons I'll go get a coach so I can get really fucking good at it and collapse time and get to where I want to go faster. So there's a little tip for you in any area of your life that you're holding back. It's not just around money. Anyway, shall we get back to it? All right, let's see. All right, are we back? Let me go present. Let me bring up a video so I can see someone else other than myself. Whitney, is that just say Whitney's experience? Everyone can see that? Yep. Cool. All righty. So let's continue on here. Here we go. I'm going to word vomit all over you guys. So stop budgeting and always, I do talk about today. I thought it was tomorrow. Anyway, whatever. You're going to get so much over the next few days. So you need to stop budgeting. This is what you need to do. You no longer budget. And every time you say, I just remembered our call we had, Rachel. Remember when you you said it and I think you caught yourself straight away because you're like, oh my God, Kim's going to virtually slap me if I say the word budget. It just made me think of that. But you've got to stop budgeting. And every time you go to think I'm going to do my budget, slap on your wrist or get the elastic band. I don't know, whatever works for you. Okay. No, you never do it. And I'll disclaimer this, if you ever see me talk about budgeting or say the word budgeting, it's purely marketing, oh my God, can't fucking talk. It's purely marketing to help you connect to what I'm saying because we all understand budgeting, right? But we don't budget. In our household, we follow our blueprint, we follow our wealth system. We do not budget. All right. So stop budgeting and always appreciate your money first. Game changer. Game changer. So this is another one of the tips. So we're already at tip 2. So there's about 6 I give you, not 3, as I said before. So we tend to associate budgeting with needing to avoid spending and negative money behaviors. All right. When we associate budgeting to needing to avoid spending, you're restricting the flow and the circulation of money. Remember, money needs to circulate. Just like nature circulates, just like the human body circulates, everything circulates, time circulates. If you try and block the flow of it, there's resistance and you're going to get frustrated or annoyed or bitter or whatever the feeling is for you. So that's why budgeting is associated with needing to avoid spending and negative money behaviors. Like, well, it implies lack and restriction, right? Which creates a scarcity energy and a scarcity mindset. And if you think of it, if you're budgeting, we always grew up like, yep, got a budget, that's smart. So we're trying to budget, but it's like, we got to restrict, we shouldn't do that, we shouldn't do this. And then it gets to the weekend and you're like, fuck it, I've worked hard, I'm going to go out, or I'm going to buy that dress, or I'm going to book that holiday. I'm just going to, not follow the budget. Who's done this before? Let me know. Who's like, you're guilty of it, but don't feel bad. We're not guilty, but let's just be, who's like me, where you have blown the budget, which is the common saying, or you fucked the budget. And then afterwards, you're like, shit, I really should not have done that. Yeah. And then we feel guilty. Then we feel bad. And then we like, can you see how this fucks you up? It does. And I'm saying that it fucks you up. Everyone's saying yes, right? It fucks you up because then your subconscious goes, see Courtney, see Laurie, see TT, see Julie, see Rochelle, see Karen, see Tegan, see everyone who's saying it. Your subconscious goes, see, there's the evidence that you're not good enough. You can't even stick to a budget. And if you support your subconscious beliefs of not being good enough, that's where it shows in the money. If I'm not good enough, you're not going to feel like you have enough money. So this is why fuck the budget. burn the budget. All right. Burn the budget. Refer to your management of money. Like, you can call it your money management, but blah, not sexy, whatever, very masculine. But refer to your management of money with something that empowers you, that makes you feel like you are in control and everything is aligned. I call it the blueprint. Like, I used to call it like my self-worth. So I don't even fucking know what I used to call it. I needed it to be really empowering. I'm now at a point where I don't have any emotion around it anymore. So it's our blueprint. It's our wealth creation. It's our blueprint, like super simple. But you could add something sexy, sultry, fun words with this. Like, it's your protocol, self-worth protocol, like wealth building framework. I don't know. Like, can you see I'm not that creative anyway? Sexy money design. Like, you want money to turn you on, right? And I don't, if I'm making you uncomfortable, like in a giddy way, awesome, because we've got all this pent up emotion around money and all like the shoulds and all of those things, where we need to channel your inner boss feminine. Because money and like the numbers around money is very masculine, but we if we're blocking that feminine flow, which is the circulation, the expansion, the cycle, all of that, that's like we're not going to feel like we're in our power. And this is why we're in a day and age more than ever that more women are wanting to step into their power, and we want all this money because we consciously believe we're worthy of it, but there's all this subconscious shit that we've got going on, right? And it's because we believe budgeting, we should be budgeting, but then when you budget, we blow the budget, and then can you see how we're fucking ourselves over? So anyway, back to the point of this, like, call it something that turns you on, that lights you up, that feels fucking good, that empowers you. So empowering is like been trending for the last, like the whole, female empowerment, women's empowerment, or just empowerment in general. It's been trending the last 5 or so years. And I love it because it's literally about you stepping into your personal power. It's coming from within. So what lights you up when it comes to managing your money? So there you go. You get to decide that. Those people who are already inside the Wealthy as Fuck program, we just call it our blueprint, and some of the ladies like have some more sexy creative names in front of it. But as I said, I'm a simple gal. It's called our Wealthy as Fuck blueprint. All right, so then this is the second part to this, the appreciating your money first. Let me check in on time. Okay, we're definitely going to go over the hour because I know there's going to be some Q&A, by the way, but just hang tight. So because money is just energy, you need to treat money as energy and not as a physical thing matter. See, I already told you this in a few slides before because I like to get ahead of myself. Always save your money first. Some of you came to my recent event that I did here in Perth, and this was like one of the things I sent you home with. Always save your money first. When your income lands into your account, when you follow the Wealthy as Fuck blueprint, you actually have an income account. The first thing that you do is you transfer to your savings. Now I'm going to get a bit more specific around that tomorrow and on Wednesday. But right now, you're not budgeting and you're going to appreciate your money first. Always save it first. The energetics of this behavior, this is a behavior, right? This is part of your manifestation, how you're showing up. This behavior supports self-worthiness, appreciation, and adding value, because you are your most valuable asset. Nothing else, not your kids, not your business, not your house, not your boat. I don't know what else is valuable. Cars aren't even really valuable anymore. They depreciate over time, right? You are your most valuable asset. And I know there's a lot of you on here because you're all ambitious women, right? I know you know this to a degree when it comes to other areas in your life, but there's a gap in where it comes to the money and finances part of your life. That's why you still feel stuck, because you still make other things more important than you. Adding value. You are your most valuable asset. Assets appreciate in value over time. That's why you want to put money into it, or you want to make them appreciate. You want to make them compound and expand. So you have to pay yourself first. You have to put money into your savings save it into your savings self-worth account that is designed to make you more money over time. This is not giving you advice and tips around that now. That's something we work on when you work with me, because it's a journey. But at least you can start doing this. It allows you to earn the right to invest and make passive income from that. Like the biggest mistake that you can do is trying to invest money from a gambling energy, or putting all your savings into something and not leaving. Like you've got to earn the right to invest money. You've got to create a cash cushion, to have something there that's energetically creating like some stability. Even though we work on the stability, I'm going on a tangent, but you don't want to rely on the money in the bank to create financial stability for you. The sense of stability is yourself. And we work on that inside the program, but you also want your bank account to reflect that sense of stability and have some liquid there, right? So that's why it's so important to save first. This behavior aligns with expansion and magnetism. You're saving for, like, you are your most important thing, so you need to put towards yourself first. And extra stuff I like to talk on with this is, especially as women, because we have generational conditioning around people pleasing. Put everyone else first, do good, do all the things. Then, you grow up, you get stereotypically, like, a lot of this is breaking now, but it's still hanging around. But we're in that that age, that this, I guess it's an age where ages in our like 2023, not ages in what age you are. We're at a time in this, I don't know, what's the word? There's a word for it. Era, I don't know. Where it's starting to break, and it's feeling like a really fucking heavy battle, because we're breaking this conditioning. But you get married or you get a partner and you put them first. The female's meant to put them first, right? Make sure dinner's on the table, everything's clean. And then you have kids, and then you got to put them first before you, so you become last. And this is what's happening with our money. We're paying the bills account, we're paying the mortgage, we're buying groceries. So you still have to do those things, obviously, but you have to make yourself more important than Woolworths, than the bank, than the energy company, because they don't put you first. They'll tell you do, but they don't put you first. They want their money. So this is why you always save your money first. The first thing you do. I can't remember if I have a third slide on this. Do I? No. All right. Move that quickly so you didn't see the homework. I'm just going to bring up the chat. This was a game changer for me. Aha moment. This is gold. We carry up to 14 generations of trauma in our bodies. Fucking hell. Well, I know, because I've been breaking them down, and bloody hell, it's tiring. But yes, that doesn't surprise me. Holy fuck, this is hitting home. Absolutely, because I'm sitting here thinking what I will take away from my spendings in order to save, not from the whole income. I can vouch for this. I used to work in the energy industry. There you go, Courtney. She's like, yeah, you guys weren't more important than us. We wanted our bills paid. Woolworths, yeah. Work on the subconscious trauma. Yep. Definitely can relate to what you're saying. Cool. I'm going to share this because, and then we've got your homework, and then there's some Q&A if people want it. Am I going to leave this up? I'm going to leave this up, not just the screen up, because I don't normally say this in the challenge, but I always say it. I don't know when, like, Whitney, you've heard me say it a million times. You guys, some of you guys have heard me say, if you've already done a call with me, you've heard me say it. The best analogy I can explain for you to understand your journey when it comes to money, which it supports what I was just saying, how, like, we're dealing with the people pleasing bullshit, generational hand-me-downs, and the scarcity and all this and that. So that's why the simple act in saving our money first, like, we haven't even considered it because it was never taught to us, because that would seem so foreign. Because what's not foreign is put everything else first, make sure your bills are covered, budget, do all the things, make everyone else happy, and hopefully you're left with something, right, for yourself. But the analogy is, when you do this work, it's, the saying, and I love, just so I know people actually are following along with what I'm saying, put a yes in the chat or a no in the chat. But with this saying, do you know the saying, well, the grass is greener on the other side? But then, I don't know if you've heard this, but I used to always hear, like, the grass isn't greener on the other side. The grass is greener where you water it. Has anyone heard that? Give me a guess if you've heard the whole, it's not greener on the other side, it's greener where you water it. Okay. You ready? If it was that fucking easy to water your own grass, why are you still struggling with things? When it comes to money, if it's that fucking easy to water your own grass, why aren't you wealthy beyond all means right now? Why don't you feel abundant as fuck in every area of your life? Because it's not that easy. If it's that easy, I wouldn't have a career because no one would need me. Right? In this case, especially with this work, it's not greener where you water it because you'd all be watering. That's too easy, right? Now it's simple. The grass is greener on the other side. Now the grass is greener on the other side of a swamp that's full of crocodiles, bears, lions, scorpions, snakes, spiders, like whatever country we're in, what's their deadliest animal? And poison, I don't know, all the shit that can kill you. So, Laurie, my retic is broken. Oh, okay. So I always picture, and I always sit at my desk and I've got right here suitcases all stacked up because my office is also the junk room now that I have a child, and, you know, she needs her own bedroom, and us mums, we make sacrifices, right? But over here, I'm looking at my suitcase. It's the green grass. It's on the other side. It's like, I've been watching too much Teletubbies lately. And, you know, those of you who've watched Teletubbies, where the sun comes up over their little green hill. The grass is green on the other side. It is a beautiful hill in the sunshine. But to get to the other side, you've got to go and trudge through the swamp. Now, we are human. We are the most elite animal, right? Or whatever. We're the top of the chain. So technically, we should be able to get through this swamp. But if you don't have the skill set in order to beat the crocodile, to beat the snake, to beat the bear, to beat the lion, or blah, 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 what's going to win? Right? It's going to be a pretty messy battle and you're not likely to win. So this is why you got to trudge through the storm. You've got to do the work. You've got to go learn these skills. This is why I'm teaching you one of these skills. Save first and put it into practice and understand that it's going to bring up some shit because you're so used to putting everyone else first and not valuing yourself and not believing that you're good enough. You got to learn the skills, which is what we teach inside Wealthy as Fuck. We teach you the skills and the processes and the strategies to beat the crocodile, to beat the bear, to beat the snake, to beat all the things, because you can trudge through that swamp and win if you had the skills to do it. Am I making sense? Give me a yes in the chat or a no. Awesome. Cool. So I'm starting just in this challenge. It's simple, right? It's simple to learn. Like, I remember how to beat a crocodile. Didn't we learn it as a kid? Like, I don't know, poke its in its eyes or something. Okay, don't put me in a cage with a crocodile. I will die. But I know with a bear, when I was in Canada, they taught you, like, you back up slowly and you make yourself really tall. It's like if you're more likely to get away from the bear, right? So there's a skill to it. I was going to say, did Steve Irwin teach us this about the crocodiles? I don't know. I didn't want to throw him under the bus if it wasn't him and I got the skill wrong. We know with snakes, you freeze, you wait for them to, like, and you approach it in certain ways. You don't just fucking run at the snake because it's going to bite you. Or if you get bitten, you know not to keep running. Like, this is not like a lesson on safety, guys, on an emergency management, but you know, the more you learn the skills, the more confident you have. Like, it's simple stuff. It's not easy because we have so much emotional baggage around it. So anyway, I'm fully tangenting, but I love talking about this stuff. Yeah, definitely nervous system stuff, definitely not all of it, but it definitely is. So anyway, the two main things today, what have we learned? It's literally in the title. We're going to stop.
No budgeting.
Yes, no budgeting, no more gross budgets, and appreciate your money first. Save your money first. Okay. I think Whitney's up with the homework.
Amazing. So your homework for tonight, that we really, really encourage you to set this time aside between now and jumping on to tomorrow night's call and bringing what you've done to tomorrow night's call. So what you need to do is look back through the last 4 weeks of transactions on your bank statement or your online banking. So if you want to just sit there and go through your net bank and write them down, if you want to print them, whatever feels good for you, do it that way. Once you've got the 4 weeks, what we want you to do is go through them and you're going to categorize all your debits. So every time you tap that card or swipe that card, every single dollar and cent that you are spending, pop them into categories, and you're going to add up the totals. So you can do as many categories, again, what feels good for you. You're going to have those core foundational categories of saving, groceries, bills, fuel, takeaway coffees, takeaway, like eating out, whatever categories that you would like to do. If it feels good to you, want to get down to the nitty gritty, have more categories. If you feel better just having, say, 6 foundational ones, do that. And then you're going to add up that total for each category. And you're going to bring those categories and those totals to tomorrow night's call. Some people are very tech savvy. You can go in and download your statements, opens in a spreadsheet. You can put formulas. If you love that stuff, by all means do it. I am not tech savvy, so I was print them off and pen and paper and a highlighter. That worked for me. If you've got multiple accounts, if you can do it over and you've got the time, do as much as you can do. If you've just got a few accounts, but there's one main one that you pay most of your stuff out of, and that's all you've got time for between now and tomorrow night, and you can come back later and do those other accounts, then do that as well. But this is really important. Set that time aside. 4 weeks isn't that much. It won't take you too long once you get on a roll and get going.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing. So, sorry, go Kim.
I was like, oh, that's right, this slide. I forgot about this one.
All right, so we have opened up our calendars to have a free 30-minute mini money strategy call with both Kim and myself separately, not together. They will be limited. We obviously only have so much time in the day. I work, Kim obviously runs her business, and we've both got small children. So first, invest dressed. We'll deep dive into your money mindset and how you manage it and getting to your next steps, what needs to happen next. Send whoever referred you. So if it was myself that referred you here tonight to the challenge, or if it was Kim, pop on to Instagram or Facebook, whatever you've got us on, and send us a message, and we will send you the link to go in and book the time that best suits you. And here's a little clip of a client win inside our amazing program. Made it through our first pay cycle fortnight with utilizing the spreadsheet, and boy, it felt great. No stress or worry at all, just excitement and at ease. Also have hit over 10K in our house deposit account already for the year. I actually think that's possibly mine, I think.
I think that might be, yeah.
We have so many wins that we share every Friday inside the program, and it's so incredible reading everyone's wins for the week. So get on, book your calls. Also, that's part of going into the draw to win the prize. You have to book your call in with who referred you here as well. So send us a message and we'll send you the link to book your call. And lucky last, day 1 complete. That is it. A lot of info. I hope you go away from those that said they were nervous at the start of the call. I hope you leave just with excitement of what the future can hold by implementing these pretty easy steps towards your financial future. So any questions, please pop them in the chat. I don't know, Kim, if you're happy, if you know how to put your hand up, like you hit the little button to raise your hand, if it would be easier to ask the question verbally rather than typing, by all means, raise your hand. I think it's in reactions, possibly.
But I have no idea how to do that. But I've put everyone in gallery view so I can see you. But before we start, I've got one more thing I want to share on what Whitney said. Whitney explained that perfectly, and then I'll open up for questions. If you want to go, you can go. By the way, this is the 60 minutes that was promised. The Q&A is like a little bonus. I'm going to do my best to answer. If there's questions that like I fully answer them and guide you through in our program, like I'll give you like immediate steps, but I'm not going to do like a whole hour coaching call for someone, if that makes sense. I mean, in the nicest way, but I know you get that. I just have to disclaim that because last time we got some really deep questions. I'm like, you need to book in with me and we need to get to work on some stuff. But if you already have a call booked in, you're already ticked off. If you've already had a call with myself or Whitney in the past, you've already done the call. We've already talked. We already know where you're at. But maybe you have some question. If you have questions about the program, like we're happy to jump on for 15 minutes, answer you, or we can voice message back and forth. Just because you've already done the other getting clear on your money blocks path. We've already worked that out. If you also need the links, if you don't message Whitney, sorry, where did I get that from? If you don't want to message us, the featured post in the Facebook group, it's like when you first go into the Money Coach, the Kim My one, the feature post, the first one at the top, in the caption, you'll have both of mine and Whitney's links. So if you found out about the challenge, as she said, through Whitney sharing it, book in with her, otherwise book in with me. All right, everyone's jumping off anyway, but okay, who had a question? I saw Melissa. Was it Melissa? Melinda? There's also Mel's on here today. Or maybe just two, but I feel like there's lots.
Can I just say, Karen said, this is amazingly inclusive environment. Thank you so much for taking the yuck out of the subject. Money does not have to be yuck, does not have to be icky. I talk about money all the time with people now because I know how good it feels to feel like this. Money is not yuck whatsoever.
Money is sexy, baby. That's what we're doing. Woo.
So Georgina's got a question there, Kim. Sorry, what is the blueprint you speak of? The magical blueprint.
Well, you'll learn about that tomorrow, actually. So look, I'm going to make you wait. Just to tease you. It's just how we manage our money, following universal laws. It's a set of wealth principles. But we'll give you more deets on that tomorrow. I know, shit answer, right? You wanted me to tell you what it was. Tegan did say, what are the categories before with, just to recap, if you have any questions about the homework, you'll work out what your categories are from your spendings. Like you can literally just whip up your online banking, your main spendings account, and you're like, look, one of your categories might be a what the fuck category. Like, what the fuck did I buy? Like, I don't even know what that company is. You make that a category. I called it miscellaneous, but I wasn't as fun clearly back then, because now I'd call it the what the fuck category. So you'll know what your categories are. But you don't have to fully do that because it does lean into the task tomorrow. You just want to see how much you've spent where in the last 4 weeks. Ladies, Tegan and Courtney, I know you talked about your retreat business stuff. Do the last 8 weeks if you want to, like do the 4 weeks before. It's really not a big deal. But if you know, like the last thing I want is for you to do the last 4 weeks, but your brain goes, oh, but we don't normally spend that. So like there's some justification. Choose October, choose all of September, right? Whenever you stopped buying stuff for your retreat. Okay, there was a question. I think Laurie, was it your name? I'm just scrolling. Am I still able to do the program if I have no income coming in as I've lost my job? As in, yes, because it's all about like, oh, obviously we need to have update chats since we last spoke as well. Whether you have money or you don't have money, it's not about, I'm going to talk about this tomorrow or the next day. One of the universal laws is handling what you have. And I know I've spoken a little bit about, you can do it. My next question goes like, it's obviously an investment. So you need to be able to invest in it. And we can look after you no matter what, because we're all about that anyway. But you can still do it because you have money. You have what you already have. And it's not just the physical money, it's your emotions, it's your stories, it's your behaviors. So, and that's where we work, guys. We work first. Ideally, you don't have to, but you work first mindset into the manifestation behaviors. And then when you're healing that stuff and reprogramming and rewiring your brain, things start to come in and things start to happen. So, and Laurie, I know that's your jam anyway. Yeah. Who put the hand up? Tegan. Okay, this hand raising thing. There you are. Oh, it puts you at the top. This is so good.
Amazing session tonight, ladies. Thank you so much. I don't even really know what my question is, but I'll try and give it a little bit of context. So a lot of people that I'm assuming come into these money challenges is because they've got like a scarcity or like mindset. Mine's a little different in terms of I feel guilt because I've grown up in a family that don't get me wrong, were self-made, started out at absolute rock bottom, but made their selves, like my father made himself like extremely successful. And we did have things that, you know, we were given nice things. We did get to go on family holidays. We, got all the good shit basically. And I'm just wondering if the same sorts of feelings and self-sabotage and those sorts of things that come up from having that lack and scarcity mindset, if that is equally on the other side of the spectrum where you feel guilty or privileged for growing up with when others amongst you may not have had the same opportunities and those sorts of things. So if there is a question around that, does that make sense?
100%. No, exactly what you mean. Can anyone else relate to Tegan? Just pop it in the chat if you can. Just want to make sure, just to know that you're not feeling alone. Or did you just take your hand down? Well, there you are. You just like you moved. No, it's fine. Oh, like you moved. I went to look for you and it's not there. Okay, I can see
There we go.
So how's the best I can explain it? That is still, there's still a scarcity there, because if there's a guilt energy, it's unbalanced. So it's emotionally unbalanced. It doesn't matter what end of the spectrum is. First of all, if you felt fine because you know you grew up with all of this abundance and all of that, you wouldn't feel the need to come on here. So right now you already still have there's not enough, I'm not satisfied. So however that has played out or shown up, it's unbalanced and it's keeping you playing small. It's just more common, what I've found anyway, with the people who attract into this space, is more the scarcity, didn't have enough. But there's a scarcity that you're seeing, the scarcity in other people, which is reflecting the story of why should I have all of this when this person doesn't have that? Like, I feel guilty. And then it's blocking you, it's sabotaging you. So when you do the processes I teach, it's not specific to scarcity, it's specific to the stories that are sabotaging you, right? And we go work on them and reprogram them and get the real truth. Where did you move? There you go, you're up there. So yes, what I'm trying to, short answer is, if it's unbalanced emotion, it's blocking you energetically. Like if you're in a position right now where you're not satisfied, there's blocks and there's stories running the show. We have a couple of ladies inside the program. Most of the ladies and I can probably tell most of the ladies on here grew up with there wasn't enough, or rich people are greedy, or you have to work really, really hard for, like, there's this level of scarcity. But there's a few ladies inside the program who are like, fuck, my parents gave me everything. I'm almost 30 and I have fucking nothing to show for it, because they're the other end of the spectrum. We all got fucked over somehow by our beautiful parents trying to do their best, but their best doesn't align with us now and what we want. So that's why we have to go do the work on that. So yes, you're
amazing. Thank you, love. That's so helpful.
Very welcome. Cool. All right. Any other questions? Otherwise, I'm going to jump off. Okay. Summary. We know what you have to go do. No more budgeting, or Whitney and I are virtually slapping you. All right. You can even think of that. Every time you think of the word. And save money first from the moment going forward. The next time you receive income in some way, shape or form, put your savings away first. And then go through your 4 weeks. You can share it in the group. You don't have to. I just need to know that you've done it. So you can message it to me. Don't worry about it. Or you can message it to Whitney too, but it might be easier if you just Facebook message it to me. I prefer it if you did in a group. It'll keep it easier. But if you don't want to share your numbers, you don't have to. Message it to me, or you can email if you like. I just need to know that you've done it so I can tick it off. Or you don't have to do it at all, right? I'm not your boss. But do it, all right? It's worth it in the long run. Do as you're told. No, go do that. And excited I am, Whitney is too. You might not be, but we're excited to see all the numbers and the totals and the shocks and maybe some mortification, if that's a word. It's all part of the process, ladies. We got to fight some crocodiles, okay? You ready?
Is that the new wealthy as fuck like slogan?
Fight some crocodiles.
Fighting crocodiles?
Oh gosh. I would say that, but I don't want to scare anyone off. All right. Love you, ladies. Mwah. You've been amazing. We'll see you tomorrow, same time.
Bye.